Adding a design to the front of a garment is fun. This is just a kiddie's t-shirt. So first of all, we want to find the center of our grid. We put our grid inside our hoop and we want to find the crosshairs. So we're marking east, west, north, south, etc. And then we'll rule that in to get our crosshair. Don't have the design too far up towards the neck. It needs to be on the body of the t-shirt really. Don't have to mark the center, but really it is nice to actually have a crosshair to work with. Okay, so we're going to put our design. I've just printed out my elements of my design, so I've got my little dog. Because I'm using an existing design, I am limited by how far the actual item comes in from the edge of the actual design. And here I'm just using a banner. I'm just going to cover up the bottom of the body of the little dog, so as those raw ends are completed and covered. Using a thing called Neshin or Filmoplast, which is a sticky tearaway. So we follow the instructions of how to use that. So sticky side up within the hoop, and it does stick. And we want to mark our 4 points, our north, south, east, west. Just as a guideline. We can't draw on this because the ink won't settle on this. But if you actually can use your grid on your cutting mat, that can be a help as well. And I've undone the side seams of this little t-shirt because it's so tiny and I want to put quite a big design on it. So I'm going to mat my center point and I'm going to do the horizon first on the horizontal, so point to point. And I've got my dots to look at as well, so dot on dot. One thing with Filmoplast is that, see my little pleats up on that corner? I can just undo that and then just re-push that out, and it's very easy. So it's available in temporary adhesive, but it sticks to the back of your work. So let's choose our design. Let's go and grab our little dog. I've just put these into the memory of the machine, so it's just easier. Now, I only want the dog. I don't want the stippling. I don't want the fabric laid down. I'm just going to use the dog. Yeah, so I need to choose my hoop so as I've got a boundary of actually where I can put my design so it matches my template. If I put my hoop into the machine and click the latch, when I move my design up, it will go no further than the hoop. So like so, it stops. Can't go any further. If I don't have the hoop selected or the latches down, it will allow me to go past my hoop. See? And then when I go embroidery, it will say change to a bigger hoop. Well, we've had that before. Because it's outside. There we are. Change to a larger embroidery hoop or embroidery frame. We don't want that. It has to be within the boundary of the hoop. Okay, so hoop on, latch down for safety. There we are. And then we want to actually return, and we want to add another design element. And that element will be my banner. Now, banner's the right width for this hoop, which is great. So I can't move it left or right, but I can move it up and down. Just make sure that top bar covers those last few satin stitches of the body of the little dog. Okay, so there we go. And then we want to add some lettering. So I'm going to put my little dog's name. My little dog's called Archie. So again, a too big a letter, change the size. Set that. Bring it down, set it inside the box there. It's a bit cramped looking, so I need to spread it out. Now, I looked at an array. I don't have that function in there, but I do have a function which is called spacing. So spacing, let's space out our letters a bit more so it fills up that gap and puts a little bit of a gap between the letters because the kerning is a bit uneven. But on the whole, that looks okay. So It's at the top of the hoop. Okay, so it's at the top of the hoop, and we're going to skip through our steps until we find the first outline to lay down fabric for the little dog's face. That's the stippling next. So here's the top of the little dog's face. I don't want to do any of the background of this design, I just want to do the little dog. So there we are. So we've got the face, we're going to have the banner, and we'll have the name. So we're going to skip through, jog through steps to get what we want. So here we have the little dog's face and body being done. Black t-shirts always look very, very dirty on film because we've got to expose them a bit more than normal, so as you can get the shadows out. Here we have the banner being done. And now the name. So combining designs elements there makes for a great and successful, so I'll just pull the chair away around the back, successful design on the front of a very plain cheap t-shirt. And it was a cheap t-shirt from there because the grain was really, really poor. But for a size 3, it will be worn sort of like 10 washes and then it'll be out. So lovely little design, very cute.